Welcome back, members. In this video we are going to be having a look at our strategy for the upcoming AI boom. We're going to have a look at the hands of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, because this is one of the companies that I think is going to be doing exceptionally well once Rahu moves into Aries and the whole AI boom thing takes off. So let's have a look at his hands and see if we can map out some sort of a strategy on how to play this energy. Okay, and so this is the best picture I can find of his hands. I know it's very grainy because by the time I render this video, you can't really see the details on his hands. So I'll just draw them in here. And what we're going to notice, the first thing, is that he's got very, very strong energy in Pisces. And that's the whole energy center that I'm looking at over here. Now, you guys know my prediction: when Rahu moves into Aries, which is up here on the index finger, all of AI is going to boom. But what happens at around about that same time is that Jupiter will move into Pisces. And that benefic energy of Jupiter in Pisces is going to be really, really good for Jeff Bezos' company, Amazon. And that transit takes place in mid-April of 2022. And by the way, the Rahu transit, that takes place in early April of 2022. So what we can say is at around about that time, this stock is going to start pumping upwards. Meaning we want to position ourselves into Amazon at the very latest by the beginning of April. But I want to temper that statement a little bit too, because every year the sun moves into Pisces. And using tropical measurement, that happens on the 22nd of February, 2022. So what I'm really trying to say is we should have our position in Amazon set by the end of February 2022, but at the absolute latest, the beginning of April. You've got that period of time in which to accumulate. I should also mention, don't go out and buy right now, because one of my predictions is that there's going to be a market correction over about the next 6 weeks until the end of September. Which means between the end of September this year through to the end of February next year is when we should be looking at accumulating this stock. Basically, Bezos will have 3 great planets that will light a rocket under his company. And I know at the moment he's building literal rockets to go up into space, but at the moment, this is the analogy we're going to use. I'm expecting some huge things from Amazon over that time frame. So that's the strategy in which to accumulate the stock. When do we look at selling? So I'll give you 2 different dates for this. The first is at the end of October 2023. That's when Rahu moves out of Aries and it moves actually into Pisces. So that's a really good time to take profits because I think the AI boom will start booming at that time. It won't be as exponential. Now, AI isn't going to go away, so as an industry, it will always be there, but the exponential boom that I'm expecting, that will subside a little bit after this time. So that's a good place to take profits, end of October 2023. But having said that, because Bezos has such good energy in Pisces, when Rahu comes in here, that's actually going to give another boost to his company too. So he's got 2 headwinds here. Rahu, over a period of about 3 years, is going to boost Amazon. So what I'll say is once Rahu moves out of Pisces and into Aquarius, that's when, Amazon will start to flatline a little bit. And that will happen in May of 2025. So those are the 2 dates here that we should look at, potentially at selling. End of October 2023 is maybe profit-taking time. And end of May 2025 is when we could look at finalizing our position here. Now, one other thing I should mention over here, as we're talking about Pisces in 2025, Saturn will be transiting into here. And Saturn in Pisces is actually going to do a lot of harm for Jeff Bezos, I believe. Now, I don't want to get into too much of bashing a person, but this isn't a good human being. And one sort of little secret I want to give you guys just on general face reading, if you notice somebody who's got their right eye that squints a little bit, that's a narcissistic person. So we can see that Jeff Bezos has that. And I want you to think of people like Donald Trump or all the real narcissistic people who think they're God's gift to humanity. They have that. A lot of people, by the way, who have their left eye that squints are spiritual people who'll bend over backwards for humanity. The people who have the right eye that squints, They're the opposite. They'll make humanity bend over for them. And Saturn is one of those planets that punishes people with that sort of mentality. So when Saturn comes into Pisces, I think Jeff Bezos will suffer a personal downfall. And that happens in April. So if we're looking at getting out of Amazon in May 2025 and his personal downfall begins in April 2025, we should really be saying that we want to exit between, say, March to May of that year. So he'll get up into some scandal or do something silly that ruins his reputation. We want to be out of his company before that happens. Now, I think at the moment he's actually retired off the Amazon board. So whatever scandal he does get caught up in, it's not going to have a direct impact on the stock, but his energy will replay the energy of Amazon. So just keep that end date in mind there. Basically between March through to May 2025, we want to be out at the latest. And that, guys, is the end of this video on Jeff Bezos. I don't want to talk too much about his personality or what's going to happen there because, I've just said enough already, I think. What we want to do, though, is figure out a way that we can take advantage of his energy through the Amazon company. This strategy, I believe, is going to do well. Now, as always, guys, remember, this isn't financial advice, so just take this as a strategy on something that you guys should think about and maybe meditate upon. If you think it's right for you, then take action on it. I've got about 6 months to accumulate this stock. Now, if you do have any questions on this, put them in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.